Don't panic if you've got debt on your electric meter. There are ways of sorting it even if it doesn't belong to you. Let's go through what to do if it doesn't belong to you first. If you've just moved into the property and found the debt on the meter, then you need to establish who provides your electricity. Once you know who it is, contact the supplier and give them your meter readings. They may ask for proof that you've just moved in, so get all the necessary paperwork together. If the debt does belong to you, then the best thing to do is discuss options with your energy supplier. Sometimes payments will be automatically taken when you top up your meter. For example, if you top up with a tenner, you might only be given a £5 credit. If you can't afford this, let the supplier know so that they can reduce the amount that they hold back. If you need extra support, then let your supplier know, especially if your situation has recently changed. You may be in a vulnerable position, or what's known as a priority case if you have children or you're retired. Most energy providers have their own hardship funds or grants, which is worth asking about, but they usually have strict eligibility criteria and they aren't accessible for everyone. If you feel like your credit's running out too soon, it might be because your meter's faulty. Again, make your supplier aware and they could look into it for you. If you're on benefits, there's something called the Fuel Direct scheme. This is where a fixed amount is taken from your benefits to cover what you owe, plus an extra amount from your current use. You'll qualify for it if you're on income-based job seekers allowance, income support, income-related employment and support allowance, pension credit, or universal credit. If you're still struggling and your electric meter debt is just one of your debts, then don't worry. There are solutions available, and some of them could mean that you don't have to pay back your debts in full. I'll run through them quickly here. Now, not all of these options will suit everyone, but there may be one or two that could work for you. First up, debt management plans. They're an informal agreement that you make with the creditors to pay back your debts at a lower, more affordable rate. Normally, that means paying less each month, but over a longer time frame. The catch is that you can't include all your debts in a debt management plan. So things like credit card debt, personal loans, and an overdraft, they can all go in, but things like court fines and mortgage arrears sadly can't be part of it. Next is debt relief orders, and they freeze your debt payments for a full year. Then, if your situation hasn't changed after 12 months and the debt's written off. So you make no payments towards a debt in 12 months and interest isn't added. Pretty good, right? Sadly, with debt relief orders, they have strict eligibility criteria. So, for example, you can't own anything of significant value like a house, and you can't have more than £2,000 in savings. Another option is offering a final settlement. If you happen to have access to a large lump sum, then you can offer that to the debt collectors or the creditors they work for. It might not be the full amount that you owe, but sometimes they'll be willing to write off the remaining debt because you'll be saving them the time from chasing you down for payments each month. Unfortunately, getting your final settlement offer agreed might not be that simple, and your creditor could simply refuse. Individual voluntary arrangements are another way to deal with debt collectors. It's a formal agreement between you and your creditors to reduce your payments to one simple payment each month. It lasts for 5 years, and at the end, any remaining debt's written off. Again, like with all these options, there are catches. IVAs are legally binding, so you'll need to keep up with the terms that you agree to. Otherwise, you could be back to square one. Bankruptcy is probably the most famous option, you may already know, but with bankruptcy, all your assets are reviewed and some may be sold off to pay back your debt. After a year, any remaining debt will be written off. Of course, bankruptcies have some obvious downsides, mainly that some of your belongings may be sold to pay for your debt, and your credit score will become very low. Paying back your debts, whether in full or using a method that I mentioned earlier, will ensure that you keep the debt collectors at bay. And one simple step that you could take today is to find out if any of the debt solutions that I mentioned could work for you. In the description of this video, I've linked to a form on my new website, and it'll ask a few multiple choice questions like, how much debt do you owe and how many people do you owe? At the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with to give you all the information that you need about debt solutions that are available. So click the link below. Let me know how you get on, and good luck.